just ate ramen noodles for dinner. That's going to be the modus operandi for a little. But yeah, I'm just reminding myself of all of these games. Dinner date. Ooh, God. Last played October 9th, 2015. Played for 2.7 hours. That was one that was for the YouTube channel. That was actually the first video that I uploaded to YouTube channel. Go check that out if you haven't seen it. Pretty wacky game, I'll have to say. Devil's Share, I don't remember anything about this. I kind of also have it categorized under bad games. I only played it for 23 minutes, so it couldn't have been that good. Oh, this is that weird first-person shooter. Oh god, that game was trash. Yeah, that was a bad game. Dyscourse, now this is probably a little controversial coming from my end. Like, a lot of people seem to like this game, and I get it. I get why a lot of people liked it. I was not one of those people. I was actually pretty... maybe I need to give it another go. It wasn't as bad. I don't think... Maybe I was too hard on it. I think it's not so bad that it needs to be categorized as a bad game. Can I go to... How do I... Reminding me of how much I hate Steve's interface. Like, I just want to go to the game page. Why can't I... Here it is. 184 reviews, mostly positive. Yeah, people dig this game. I wasn't one of them. I reviewed it. Okay. "37 people found your review helpful. I wrote a review on April..." What did I write? Can I see it? View your review. One person found this review funny. I broke through to one person. That works for me. If one person can find me funny, then I did my job. Let's see. This game was absolutely dreadful, and I really wanted to like it. I tried my hardest. I guess the best way to break down my distaste for it would be to list the pros and cons. Pro, interesting art style. The game looks fairly nice. It won't blow you away with graphics, animation, or character design, but the art style itself is a change of pace from what one would typically see. Soundtrack. Whatever else I may say about this game won't detract from the fact that it has a pretty stellar soundtrack. I always enjoy what I was hearing in that regard. In regards to that. Disky. There is one twist ending that made me kind of chuckle. I'll give that due props. Cons. Oh man, I have a lot of cons. What an asshole. I'm such a dick. Alright, let's see what the cons are then. Cons. Terrible characters. I disliked every single character in this game, passionately. For a strictly story-driven game like this, that is a cardinal sin. All the characters were hyperbolic, annoying familiars of one character stereotype or another. And since they all spend the entire campaign bitching, whining, complaining, fighting with each other, and generally failing at whatever task you delegate to them, though there were some successes in that regard, I found it very hard to find any character that I could truly align myself with. Okay. Coming in hot. Absence of gameplay. It's pretty tough to call this game a game. There isn't really anything game-like involved with it. Most of the time you're crawling through dialogue, and in those rare moments when you can control the character, you have an extremely limited range of movement within a restricted area, and your actions are only ever temporarily extended beyond doing nothing into picking up a couple of objects. Extended beyond doing nothing. Okay. Once you pick up those objects, though, you're done playing anything game-like here. It's back to the story, which would be fine and all were it not for the above grievance combined with the below. Wow, look at me stringing these things together. Chaining these thoughts. What a fucking thespian. Absence of choices. Oh, Jesus. That sounds brutal for a game like this, because the whole concept of this game is that, you have dialogues with people and you make choices based off of the dialogue tree. So what is this in reference to? The game bills itself as a choose-your-own-adventure style game, and I dig that. But for a game whose focus is on story and choices, you don't seem to have a whole lot of decision points. You make a choice here and there and then spend the rest of the time watching everybody react to those choices. Sometimes the distance between making a decision on something is so large that I forget what kind of game I was playing for a bit. It's really like an elongated cutscene. When you get to the moments where you make decisions, most of the time they are pretty milquetoast. Choose who finds the water, choose who gets to eat, etc. Well, I mean, that sounds pretty important, but choose who gets to eat is milquetoast. For a game with interest points far and few between, you'd think they would make all the decisions you would have to make a bit more exciting. I went to look at another story-driven mobile game just to compare because I felt I wasn't being fair to Dyscourse with my expectations. I played a story-driven game on iOS where every other sentence my character said was a decision point. Oh, I can't remember. There were a couple of games I remember playing around this. Oh, Jesus, I can't remember which one it was. One was like a space game. There's a really cool, I don't know if it's on, there was a really cool iOS-based game where you're like communicating with somebody who's on the moon. You're texting you, and you can text back responses. They're canned responses, but choose what to respond with. And once you send a response, he'll send a response back to you. Then it'll be like you have to wait for him to get back to you after that. So then you'll just go about your day, and then you'll get a notification from the game, like you would get a text from someone, and it would be that character in the game, like updating you with new information. So it actually, like the course of the game, felt like you were communicating with somebody, off on the moon who was desperate for your guidance to get out of a sticky mission. It was actually pretty cool. I wish I could remember the name of that game. I think I played that one around the same time I played this, but I can't recall. I feel like the game I'm describing here, though, was almost like a dating sim. I played a story-driven game on iOS where every other sentence my character said was a decision point. I had the ability within the game to completely drive the conversation, and as such, the direction of the story. More to the point, even the minor choices I made felt like it carried more weight. They informed my character and allowed me to respond to situations the way I would respond. It may be unfair to compare to Dyscourse, but for a game devoid of any real gameplay and focusing on story and choices, I could have certainly used more, a lot more. Wow, that was kind of a. Well, I still have more cons to go. Petty storytelling. What is? Oh, man, I was a dick. There were a number of times in this game where the storytelling just felt petty. For instance, spoiler alert, I guess, there was a moment I encountered on a mountain where I had found 3 eggs in a nest off a cliff. I was able to get 2 of them, but couldn't get the third. With 3 of us in the party, I had to make a decision. Who gets to these 2 eggs? Well, one of the dialogue choices presented to you was, all 3 of us will share the eggs, which is an easy thing to do with eggs. But then you are told, no, we can't do that. You must choose between 2 or 3 for no real reason whatsoever. It's obviously a Sophie's Choice moment, choosing who will live and who will die. The petty part is, I had made great strides getting to this point in the game without any characters dying, and I was literally on the last night before the rescue. There was no reason for anyone to die other than the game just said, nope, someone's dying, LOL. What am I playing this for? This was only one of several examples within this game. Nope, someone's dying, LOL. I vaguely remember that. Dull. Oof. All in all, the game is just dull. The story is horrendously generic, plane crash, desert island, etc., and none of the characters do a lick to improve on that. As stated earlier, they are all annoying characters. Add to that, they all speak Simlish. Not normally something I would say is a bad thing, but when you have annoying characters in a dull game talking about dull things, do I really care about George and Jolene's marriage? The Charlie Brown teacher womp womp effect only helps underscore the appropriate level of attention I end up paying to the whole thing. Whoa. Damn. The Charlie Brown teacher womp womp effect only helps to underscore the appropriate level of attention I end up paying to the whole thing. Wow. Womp 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 whatever. Let's move this along so I can get to the next decision point. Damn, dude. Alright, let's hurry up and round this out. This is brutal. Short. Maybe this should be a positive considering my feelings on this game, but for a $15 game of nothing, being able to complete it in less than an hour seems borderline criminal. That iOS game I mentioned earlier provided me much more robust storytelling and decision-making experience at that same length for free for the first episode, the second costing about $2, which is still substantially cheaper than this. Why is this game so short? It's not at all worth $15 for the litany of reasons listed above, but ignoring all that, $15 for less than an hour of playtime is a steep price to pay. Is this an early access game? No, that's not a good excuse. I've poured countless hours into Darkest Dungeon and other early access titles. I just don't get it. Maybe the lame, rote, predictable, cliche, boring story just doesn't lend itself to a long lifespan of playability. Whatever the case may be, it's a quick burn, so be prepared for that. Ending. I don't really want to spoil the ending. Suffice it to say, if you like looking at cork boards, you're in for a grand treat. If you like looking at cork boards, you're in for a grand treat. Jesus Christ. Overall, I cannot recommend this game. I cannot not recommend this game enough. I am honestly completely baffled and dumbfounded by the positive reviews it's been getting. I don't get it at all, not even a little bit. I can usually understand one way or another how popular games I don't like are at least popular with others. For Dyscourse, it's as much a mystery to me as the island itself. Wow. Wow. That guy asked me a question. I didn't see he asked me a question. If I had seen that, I would have responded to him at the time, because honestly, I'm curious too. I'm curious myself. What iOS game was I playing? I vaguely remember it. Oh shit, I'll have to pick it up and see. I would like to make an addendum to this review. I would I would recommend Dyscourse to children between the ages of 8 and 12. I think that as a tool to get kids into reading and applying critical thinking and problem solving in a story environment, Dyscourse is set up perfectly to allow a non-threatening environment for that. It's not overly difficult to play, and it's not aggressive in its approach to gameplay. There are a few more mature moments in the game, as well as some grisly cartoon violence. But aside from that, it is a good way to ninja your young kids into a greater world of geekery. Let them worry about min-maxing and spec crafting and inventory management later on in life. For the youngins, this game would be a good tablet game to get them into reading and teaching them some lightweight lessons on decisions and consequences. Okay, so I gave a little something back at the end. I mean, yeah, I brutally eviscerated this game. In a way that makes me think that, maybe this game hurt me in some way. Something about this game clearly upset my inner being, and I had to vent that shit out. And I did. I did. Happy that one person found it funny. I'm happy that 37 people found it helpful. I do go into detail. I'm not just shooting from the hip here. I go into extensive detail about why I feel the way I feel about that game. So there is at least that. Lord Almighty. Okay, now I understand why I put it in the bad games category.